Hello, my name is Ashley Peachbush. I am the dive director at Catalina Sea Camp, and this video is all about how to do scuba paperwork for Catalina Sea Camp. So to get started, we're going to get logged into your camper account, which is where all this paperwork lives. So we're going to go to gdi.campintouch.com, and once we get there, you will log in. And once you log in, the part we are interested in is the forms and documents section of your camper account. So you'll click here, and then all of the forms required for camp will be listed. If you have multiple campers at camp, you'll have a different section for each camper. So we're going to scroll down to Test Peaches Forms and Documents. And where I would start is with the scuba paperwork instructions. So if you'll click on that form, and it will download to your computer. And for me, once that's done, it opens right in a separate tab in my browser. And this document shows, the first tab is actually how to submit the paperwork, and we'll go over that at the end of this video. And the second section lists the forms required for all campers wishing to scuba dive. And I want to acknowledge right off the bat that this is a lot, and we recognize that. And we are not including extra forms just for the sake of it. All of these forms are required so we can be in compliance with our training organization that we're associated with, and so that we are also in compliance with our insurance organization. So I want to thank you in advance for all the work that you are going to put into getting these forms done. But let's start with the scuba medical form, because this is the form that requires a physician's signature. So I'm going to go back to my forms and documents section, and I'm going to click on scuba medical form and give that a second to download. And once that is ready, we can click on that. This might look familiar if you have done scuba diving elsewhere. One big difference with our version of this form is that we require a doctor's signature regardless of any of the answers on the form. So when you get into this document, there will be instructions right here, a link to the diving medical guidance for the physician. So it's recommended that you print this part, which is actually in a separate document, to take with you to your physician. It just describes how certain medical conditions can impact a diver underwater, and it's important to review this information so that you can make a decision on if scuba is safe for your camper, and so your doctor can help make that decision as well. So we have the diving medical guidance. It's a longer form, which is why it's not completely linked in the medical form. But basically this goes through a lot of different health conditions and how they impact divers. So that's great information for you and your physician to review. And when you are getting this filled out by a physician, or when you're filling this out rather, you'll start on this page. So I would print this, and then you and your camper will go through, and if any of these medical conditions apply to your camper, you will check yes, and if they don't, you will check no. If there were yes checks, it might say go to box E or go to box F. You'll go through to the second page, go to box E, and answer the questions in box E. It just gives you a chance to provide more details on that medical condition. So regardless of any of these answers, the participant name is going to be listed here on the second line, so that's your camper name, and their birth date. Please note that this date format is in day, month, year. That's kind of not intuitive to me, so please pay special attention there. This top line is for a parent or guardian signature with the date. Great. And please note, if you're filling out the second page, if you had yes answers that require more information on the second page, we need the participant name here as well as the birth date. And then the third page is the page that your doctor will fill out and sign. So please, again, make sure participant name and birth date is here. And then your physician is going to review this information, review the medical guidance, and they are going to make a decision on whether they can approve your camper for scuba diving or not. So what's really important is that they check one of these boxes and then sign this form here, date it, and then provide information about their practice. This can be a stamp, or they can fill in this information on their own. Please, before you leave your doctor's office, make sure that this entire page is complete. If it's not, once we review it, we will send it back to you and say, hey, you need to go back to your doctor and have this filled out again. So please make sure the first time that it is all complete. So this is the medical form. Doctor signature is required regardless of these answers. All right, moving on to the Scuba NAUI waiver. This one is pretty involved as well, and it's actually not completely live yet because we don't have our staff finalized for summer, and we need to have all their names listed there. But there are things you can do ahead of this form being released to prepare to fill it out. And we plan to release the full version of this form as soon as possible, but definitely by June 1st. So basically with this waiver, we want to make it very clear that snorkeling, apnea diving, scuba diving, and first aid courses have inherent risks. And we want to make sure that you are able to make an informed decision when you are filling out this waiver. So the first thing we ask you to do is watch NAUI's risk awareness video, and it is linked right in this form. You can click on it, it will go to NAUI's site, and please watch this 12-minute video with your camper to be aware of the risks associated with scuba diving and how to mitigate them. Next, we ask you to review our scuba diving participant guide, and this gives you a ton of information about our dive program, but we want you to be really aware of what our dive program looks like and what diving looks like at Catalina Sea Camp, so you know what your camper is going to be involved in. The next link on here brings you to a reading of the NAUI waiver. Now, if we were to be doing this in person, we would just read it aloud together, but since all of these forms are being collected remotely, we have created this video of me reading the waiver for your enjoyment. Please watch it. Now, if you have any questions about scuba diving here, about the risks associated with scuba diving, snorkeling, apnea diving, first aid instruction, you must email me at diving@gdi.org, and I would be so happy to discuss those risks for you and set up a call for us to talk through them more. Once you have done all of these things, then you're ready to fill out the waiver, which is awesome. So this is just a sample, again, not released yet. We will need your camper name here at the top. Please read through all of this information. And then at the bottom, we will need the signature of the participant, which is your camper, and the date. We will need the signature of a parent or guardian here with the date. And lastly, we need a witness signature. So that's the middle line here. A witness can be anybody who is 18 years of age or older. It can be a second parent or guardian. It cannot be the parent or guardian who signs right here. It can be a friend. It can be a family member. It can be anybody who is 18 years of age or older who is able to witness both the parent or guardian and the participant sign this form. Great. So that is the NAUI waiver. Back to instructions, we're going to go to the Scuba questionnaire, and this is an online form. You don't need to print it out at all. It is linked right here. And in this form, we collect a lot of information from you all about your camper. In this form, if you start filling it out and you need more information or you need to run, you can just scroll right to the bottom and click save for later, and then come back later and finish it. But talking through the parts of this form, first, information acknowledges that you've reviewed the Scuba guide, which is also linked on the Catalina Sea Camp website, in addition to in that waiver instructions. Asks if your camper is a certified diver. If the answer is yes, it asks some questions about their highest level of certification, their certifying agency, when their certification was completed. This can be approximate, the location or the shop where it was completed, and then how many open water dives has the camper logged. So these should be in your camper's logbook, and we're looking for the total number of open water dives, which does not include pool dives or confined water dives. So you'll enter that information here. So they have 6, or if they have 6 now and you're planning a dive trip next week where they expect to get 6 more, you can write 6 with 12 expected by the start of camp. Cool. And then scrolling down to the health insurance section, we require campers to have insurance that covers scuba diving accidents. So this can be your health insurance. A lot of health insurance companies will cover scuba diving accidents. If your health insurance does not cover scuba diving accidents, or if you would like additional coverage, we require Dan Dive Accident Insurance, and there's a link here to purchase that. So you will click one of these boxes or multiple of these boxes if multiple apply. If your camper is signed up for our open water scuba certification course or planning to take that course, then they are eligible for DAN, or the Divers Alert Network's complimentary student insurance program. There is a link here that I encourage you to click on if you're selecting this option that explains exactly what is covered. This student insurance program is not as comprehensive as purchasing a Dan Dive Accident Insurance policy. So I'd like you to click on that to just be aware of what coverage is provided. And again, this complimentary student insurance is only for campers in the open water scuba certification course. It's not for campers in advanced or cat diver or rescue diver. So you will select the appropriate insurance options for you and then enter your name here as your signature. If you do have Dan insurance purchased, we will ask for some additional information about your policy and your policy number, and then later we'll ask you to upload a picture of that card. Great. Next section is medical history information and verification, and this is just basically asking you to verify that the information you input on that medical form is correct. And then the next part is safe diving practices and statement of understanding. And we ask that you review this information with your camper about our dive program policies and procedures. And once you both have reviewed this, sign it stating that you have reviewed it. Last part of this form is our release of liability. So slightly different than NAUI's release of liability. We ask that you read this section and sign at the bottom. If your camper is 18 years of age or older, we ask that they sign this section as well. Great. And then once it is all complete, you can hit submit. And then if there is something missing, it will let you know. Let's go back. All right. Let's see, what is next? Okay, so those first 3 things I talked about are required for every single scuba diver who wants to scuba dive at Catalina Sea Camp. The rest of these forms are only required sometimes. So one is the scuba certification card. If your camper is certified, we would like proof that they're certified by you uploading their card. So the form looks like this. If all their information is on one side, the certification and their name, then you just need to upload one side. We don't need the back. Some agencies have the certification on one side of the card and the camper name on the other. And if that's the case, we will need both sides. And with this, we ask that you upload like the highest level of certification. So it could be rescue, it could be advanced, it could be master diver, or it could be open water diver. But just whatever their highest level of certification is, we Next thing is the Scuba Dan insurance card. So again, this is just if you have Dan dive accident insurance. We would like to see that card, or a confirmation email can also be uploaded here. And going back to instructions, we have the Scuba asthma form, and this is required for campers with a history of asthma or reactive airway disease. So that form is linked here. And the Asthma Packet lists our detailed procedures for campers who have a history of asthma. So we ask that you work through this form with your physician to determine if scuba diving is a safe choice for your camper. And once you have done that, we ask for the camper name, birthday, and a physician to provide their recommendation for your camper scuba diving or not scuba diving. This is a lengthy process. If you have questions about this form or this process, please feel free to email me. All right, and then the last thing we have is the Scuba Equipment Service Record form. This is for campers who are planning to bring their own BCD or regulator to camp this summer. So we provide BCDs and regulators to campers, but if your camper has their own and they're comfortable using it and they really like it, we would love for them to bring it with them. We just need proof that that gear has been serviced or purchased new within the last year, or per the manufacturer's specified interval. Most manufacturers recommend service after 1 year or a certain number of dives. Some are able to do service every 2 years. But we ask for camper name, information about their buoyancy compensator and or regulator. Some BCDs don't have serial numbers, so if yours does not, please don't worry about this. But we'd like you to fill out this information and then also attach either the receipt of purchase or the receipt from the last service. Great. So those are all our forms for scuba divers. Once again, these first 3 are required for all divers. These ones here are only required in the listed situations. For submitting this paperwork, we would like all paperwork submitted by April 1st. The only exception is for the medical form. We recognize sometimes with doctor's appointments and getting this form filled out, it can take a while. So we'd like that medical form as soon as possible. But if it's not by April 1st, that is okay. So you have a lot of different options for submitting your paperwork. Forms marked with a barcode can be faxed in, and then they'll be uploaded straight to your account. You can also upload the forms as a PDF from your computer or from your phone, and I'll walk through that really quick for doing that from a computer, and then we'll kind of cut and I'll go through uploading forms from your phone on the Companion app, which I think is absolutely the easiest way to do this. But if we go back to Camp and Touch and the Forms and Documents section, if I wanted to upload the waiver, so that's here, I would click on Upload over here, and I would choose a file from my computer. So I go to Choose File, and I would click on Peaches Waiver for Sea Camp, and I would open that up and click on Upload. And it looks like it's in an invalid format, so we need things to be PDF. Okay, so let's cancel that. Okay. So, all right, backing it up, I am going to upload the Scuba medical form from my computer. So if I were to do that, I would click Upload and choose a file and find that PDF on your computer. So I'm going to click on Peaches Scuba Medical, and I'm going to open that up. Click on Upload. It'll think about it, and then it will show me that I uploaded it today. Yay! Okay, The last thing I want to touch on is how these forms are reviewed. So once you submit these forms, our Scuba paperwork team will review them for completeness and for accuracy, and then we will do one of a couple different things. If everything looks great, we will mark them as complete, and those will show up on your camper account as green, and they'll be kind of pushed to the bottom of your forms list. If something is incomplete, like a signature was missing or a box wasn't checked, then we'll mark them as incomplete, and we will send you an email asking you to update whatever was incomplete and whatever was incorrect. Once you've made that change, you can just upload those forms again in one of the ways that we discussed earlier. If we haven't reviewed your forms yet, they will just be marked as uploaded in the date that they were uploaded. And we ask that you're just patient with us as we are reviewing a lot of paperwork. Something marked as pending would be like something we've marked on incomplete, you have re-uploaded again, and then it is pending. So we just haven't reviewed it yet since you uploaded it again. If you have any questions at all about this process, please feel free to reach out to us at diving@gdi.org or divepaperwork@catalinaseacamp.org. Like I said at the beginning, we recognize this is a lot. We so appreciate your work on this, and we are here to help get your campers underwater. Thank you for watching and listening. Take care. Bye.